Alrighty, so let's talk about week 12. Now, week 12 is coming after break. So, in this case, I'm releasing week 12 before I go on break. As a matter of fact, I'm recording this as I've just graded work submitted here on the 16th. So, I'm ahead, which was my goal for break, because if you didn't hear me say it, during spring break, I'm not around. I'm actually traveling. I'm on a bike most of the time. Most of the time for week 12, so just know that that's the case, and I hope if you can work ahead, you do. And if you do, you have some work you can do. Okay, so in this week, it's going to look different for the course organization. I'll just tell you right now. And I previewed this, I believe, here in week 11. If not, let me do it now. Is that last semester, I decided at this point that I was changing things to include this idea of a checkpoint, a U code, but I had just started it here. So for this week, we're going to have a challenge in the attendance, which is, I think, very doable. And then you'll watch implement basic form validation. And then you'll have the solution. So what will happen here, and let's just go look at it because I think it might be helpful here. When you get here and looking at the file itself, right? So if you're going to watch 12.1, you'll do your commit, just understanding the idea of why form validation is important, because it is, okay? So then when you watch me, when I am in this video right here, I will actually say something about doing the challenge. But here's what I want you to know is actually what you're going to do is code along, do the no validate, and then do this commit for the coding and testing, okay? So then what you'll do is you'll actually write your attempt for rule 2, okay? And this is the comment that will be in there, okay? So, and this is what it needs to be. So this is the comment that you place in that function, okay? Actually, I need to scoot this over. But then your commit will be my attempt at rule 2, okay? So then what will happen is and let's just complete this and then I'll come back around. So after you submit your commit history, right, the way I'm going to grade, and let me pull back and show you this because I didn't exactly do this as well as I could, so I'm trying to help you not run into this. So the way I'm going to grade this next item is how well you do on this last commit, because this is actually going to show you the solution, and you can't get here until you actually submit your commit history, okay? So, and in this case, here's the solution, and then if you need to change it, go ahead and change it. But here's what I want you to know. When I grade this commit, because these two you're going to do these code challenges this week for our version of the U code checkpoints, right? Both of them are going to count towards that total for your U checkpoints. So how I'm going to grade this is if you aren't able to get fully working code, definitely try. Now, on the second one, let's see, this is 2.1. Yeah, this one I think is definitely a little bit more doable. But again, give it your best try, because this is where you're really seeing how well you can translate a requirement into code. If you're able to get working code, if you aren't able to get working code, okay, add comments directly in your code explaining what the troubleshooting steps you tried. Like, what did you try? So if you tried something that didn't work, leave it in comments so I can see your effort. And that's how I'm going to grade this. And showing me your debugging process is as important as the final result. Now, obviously, getting it right gives you 100 points. Getting it close gives you some, right? I will take this into consideration when I grade. So when I grade the code here, right, when you look at this item here, just to, again, hopefully be clear, because it's going to be true for the next one as well, right? So when I give you a grade for this one, it'll be just based on that commit, and you definitely want to get this working, because then the similar thing's going to happen here. As a matter of fact, I'm going to take off this code challenge because you're going to implement the rules. Actually, no. So let's actually go look at this one, because it's the same thing, because I modified it in the same way. So then in this commit, the last commit on 2.2, form validation for 6 and 7, because there's just different rules for different inputs, right? And then write your attempt for 8, okay? And then this is the same content, right? If you don't get working code, at least show me what you tried so I can take that in consideration, and then you will watch the solution, okay? So coming back to attendance, so that gives you an overview now of how week 12 is going to work. So now let's go into week 12, because that was really the video you're watching now is about that. Okay, so how the U code challenges this week are different. So now this is a video from last semester where I actually have you do a code challenge for the setup. And here's a link to this. So this video covers it. And I actually changed this video to start after the comments that I made regarding why I was making the changes, because you all have already seen the changes in this semester. And I will tell you, you all doing the U codes has actually increased the success rates in this course already. So I definitely am happier with, and I hope you have been with the way this course, you wouldn't know from last semester, but still, I'm just telling you, more students are actually doing well because, in my opinion, taking these U code challenges are really what helps you see how well you're translating. So anyway, I know it can be a little confusing this week. That's why I wanted to give a video just for this. And on this one, I was looking at this because I realized you may already have, when I talk about it in the video, you can actually search. Matter of fact, I did this in my own, where I went and looked at this just to see, once I had set this up here in my CSS, actually just search for error to see if I had the class. And I did already, but if you don't, make sure you copy it in there, and you can put it after note and before table container. I think I have it on line 278, okay? So, but some of you, I think, you have it, but again, just make sure you do. And then that's that. And then this video will go over what you need to do for your code challenge. Now, the only thing I changed here was, and after I recorded this, I want to give you something to reply. Like, do you have any questions or comments about this week's changes, right? About this week's changes. And if not, this is something really, I think, helpful. And maybe you all do it the same way. But if not, tell us how. Should be how. You make sure your DOM references are correct. How do you do it? How do you do it? That's 20 points of the writing, and then reply to one student. And I think what we're going to do, because I think these U codes are really helpful, I kind of think then I'll look at this on week 13, because on week 13 we end up doing some cleanup on the messages themselves, and I think we actually might do a U code for our little version of the ordering app here. We'll see. We'll see how that rolls out. I haven't looked at this in depth, and then we will have a step for implementing validation and an input here in step 5. Okay, have a great spring break. And I know I'm going to, because I'm going to go writing, and that's always makes me happy. Have a good one. See you later.